Welcome to the Stamp channel. My name is Jürgen and I'm going to introduce you to the world of stamps. This channel is solely dedicated to philately, which means we will focus on postage stamps and postage history. This is the first channel which not only talks about postage stamps, its history and their values, but we will also hold auctions. Furthermore, we will have some different shows on this channel, which would be Behind the Stamp Show, and the PhilaTalk, which will start now. Welcome to the PhilaTalk. To my left, I have my first guest for today. It's Reinhard. He is the founder of this channel and a lifelong collector of stamps. To my right, I have Bill. He is a Scottish teacher and also interested in lifetime in collecting stamps. Hello. So Reinhard, what brought you into collecting stamps?
When I was at the age of 8, my father gave me a little yellow album with some kiloware of that time. Just a few stamps which started a lifelong friendship with philately. As I said, it was at the age of 8, so already 2 years later I seriously started to collect stamps of several countries, like especially Austria, of course, because I am an Austrian, but as well as from Denmark, for example, and from Yugoslavia, a state which does not exist anymore. And that led to a lifelong hobby, which I still follow, and in which I learned a lot, and in which I saw a lot, and in which I experienced that something has to be changed.
So it was a desire to change?
Bring the whole of philately to something like a future, because most of it is stuck somewhere in the years of 1990 or 1995, and I'd say we are here more or less the first talk about philately on video for the first time in 2021, which shows enough.
Fair enough. So what's your interest in stamps?
Also, when I was about 8 years old, I had a small stamp collection, and I followed stamps, the history a little bit. I was 8 years old, and when I was about 14, 15, I stopped, and I found my old stamp album recently, and I'm thinking about getting back into it a bit. But I don't really know much about stamps, so hopefully I will learn a little bit more from
Yeah, hopefully Reinhard can explain.
And that's another perspective in my project, that there is not much done about broadly promote philately as a hobby for so many people. And as you said, you're interested, you don't have much knowledge about it, but still you bring a lot into the hobby, which would I say are the best basics to start it. Because as far as I know you, and we know each other for, I don't know, 25 years, something like that.
Like that.
I know you have a general interest in languages, in history, in geography. You traveled around the world. You read a lot of books, so one can say that you are an educated person.
Thank you for the compliment.
No, that's I would really say so. So that's already a good starting point for philately at all. I mean, philately is a possibility to travel in time, to travel to several countries, to travel into motifs you Like if you're a fan of, I don't know, butterflies, you will find beautiful stamps with butterflies. Or if you're a fan of history, you can make documentations of all kinds of history events, more or less since 1840 when the first stamp was invented. So all that can be part of your suggestions to start a stamp collection. But it's not that alone. There is another perspective, is the financial perspective. So I will try to explain you in the next episodes, hours, whatever time it needs, that you will be ready one day to bid in the auction house I'm building at the moment. So that's my personal target.
Sounds good.
Yeah, as I can imagine, there are quite some stamps around. I heard there are 800,000 different stamps. And I guess they have quite some value to a lot of people. So
I mean, regarding value and how many stamps, first, let me first answer the question about how many stamps are there. According to the German Michel catalog, it's something like around 750,000. Let's make it an 800,000, issued since 1840. Plus postal stationery and different other kinds of producing some kind of stamps, which would end up to a sum of something like 1 million. But you can still see this amount of 1 million stamps as an amount of 1 million different shares. And if you come to that perspective, you have to recalculate the whole market in a way that out of this 1 million shares, 900,000 are worthless. They have no value, or pennies. I mean, concerning shares, one would say penny stocks. But the other 100,000, they have a market price, maybe starting with €1, but ending up to something like $12 million.
$12 million for one stamp?
Yes. Recently in this year, there were several auctions when stamps got up to €9 million, $12 million, and similar amounts.
So they must be quite rare.
Oh, yes, that's definitely very rare stamps, but...
Of how many stamps are we speaking, which are available for like the specific one, which was priced 9 million?
I would say stamps in this price class, because it reflects one stamps where there's only one unit existing, so it's solemnly unique. The other one is another unique piece. The next one is there. It has, as far I don't remember the exact figure, but I think there are another 15 or so copies of that one. But still, I mean, 9 million euros for a stamp. It was the red Mauritius. Maybe you have heard about the blue Mauritius. Some of the most
Mauritius, like the country.
The country, yeah, which is.
Where is it?
That's in the Indian Ocean.
Indian Ocean, that's
Indian
right.
Ocean. And they issued.
So you see, to know the stamps, you got to know a bit of geography too.
True, I knew it was kind of in that area somewhere, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so that little island belonged to the British Empire, and so I think it was in around 1860, I don't remember, they issued a stamp called the Blue Mauritius, and her sister, the red Mauritius, and it was a special story. They became some of the most famous, but not maybe the most rare stamps in the
This
world.
red Mauritius was sold for
9
million.
9 million euro, but there are copies existing. Most of them are in collections like.
Why would this stamp be so expensive? What is so special about this that you would pay 9 million for it?
It's a unique piece out of 9, which can be registered.
There are
which
9
is
existing
stamps, and then you are the holder of one of them, which gives you not only reputation, but you have an advertising effect. And still there's I would not say huge, but there is still a big market for stamps all over the world. I mean, stamp market in general had a big decline, something from the late 80s till around 2000, 2010, where the market lost something like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80%.
This was roughly the years when I stopped collecting.
You see,
Coincidence?
And only recently, due to the pandemic situation with Corona, many people restarted to collect stamps because, I mean, if you have to stay at home.
And the market did noticeably increase since the coronavirus.
Yes. For the first time, I noticed that price is going up generally, and that's why I started that project and found out that there's practically nothing. I mean, there are some single heroes who already promoted philately in the last years on YouTube, but it's not. It's Graham Beck and Ron in Germany. They are my heroes because, and all people who did something to bring philately in, let's say, in the next dimension, or let's say in our century, because we are used to living pictures.
As a former stamp collector who's thinking about getting back into the scene, so to say, what would be my first steps, do you think? How can I get back into stamp collecting?
I mean, the first steps are nowadays are easily made. Go through the internet. We will create a link list for starters, for beginners.
This is the internet I trust, but not completely.
Yes, I understand that. We will.
Websites that are dangerous.
We are later on our homepage. We will publish a link list which leads to more or less just to public organizations supporting philately, like national clubs of collectors. So leading to sites of non-profit organizations, which usually then gives.
So there are sources you can definitely trust as a startup.
Yes, there are several sources you can trust, and it's just a problem of the promotion, because there is a lot of service, there's a lot of going on, but it's more or less it's not known because promotion for it on the internet, videos like that, we are the first to do so.
Will there be some information on your website to help me make the first steps into
my target is, I have some sort of plan of starting my first auction, something like in the second half of January, which gives us roughly 5-6 weeks in a time with lockdown, where I try to prepare you for bidding in my auction, because you then will be some sort of a philatelist who already is in the know how to collect stamps and how to deal with stamps.
So
That's my offer.
So what price range are we talking about?
Price range regarding starting a collection, or
Yeah, just maybe a single stamp which you plan to sell at those auctions.
look, as I said, out of this 1 million stamps, if you like, 900,000 are more or less worthless, but the others start from 10 cent up to 10 million. Let's say what we are talking is, if you want to start a medium-sized stamp collection which already gives you some pleasure watching at it, you can already start something decent with a few €100. So I would say that's the price range. Then it's up to you. I mean, if you are happy and a wealthy person, then you can go and hunt for €9 million stamps.
My small stamp collection is about 2,000 stamps.
Okay, you cannot.
And I will slowly.
Maybe in one of our next episodes you will bring your collection and we go through it together, and we will see if there is anything of value, because you know, if I'm used to look through all kind of collections.
Is there a possibility that maybe one of my stamps is very rare, or I could forget this idea?
Where did you get your collection from?
I was 8 years old back in.
No. What was given to you? A little album with a few stamps or something like that?
There was a blank album. Basically, there was nothing in it. And at that time, there was a magazine once per week for children to get into stamp collecting. And I bought that magazine every week. And attached to it was a small envelope with maybe 20 stamps. So,
I see.
And these stamps I put into the album, which was provided.
So it was made for children to get into philately as first starting steps.
Basically.
Being
British, most of the stamps were British or of the Commonwealth.
Yes. Okay. So I guess they did not put in a 9 million stamp there.
Maybe.
One never know. Maybe all the other copies disappeared. You never know. And I imagine to get one of those rare stamps, you gotta scavenge through a lot of possible letters, maybe.
If we are talking about stamps in that price class, let's say 1 million plus or even less, all these stamps more or less are known. So it's known where they are, who has them, and.
So it's quite rare that you find, let's say, new ones from the old stamps, like the red Mauritius.
Not in this price class. Not in this price class. But never know. I mean, then they find something because there's a speciality, and then again it can be worth several hundred thousands. We don't have to go to 9 million. But if you find a stamp which is worth 10,000, it's I mean, that's money. That's a small car.
That's quite a value.
But you can still find things, especially if you are ready to invest time in studying catalogs, history of stamps, cancellations, special types of stamps. There is money inside, yes.
In my case, how long would I need to work on this this pastime hobby per week, you would say, to get myself back into stamp collecting a couple of hours per week?
I mean, we have here two approaches. Our personal approach that I will try to make you ready as quick as possible, and we will film that. Already filming it.
I have time.
You see, we have lockdown, so I tried to make you a philatelist within a month.
A month?
Yeah, within a month time, we will have special episodes where I will show you how to read a catalog, how to behave in an auction, what it is an auction. I will show you. We will maybe do some little auctions together because they are basically even better than stock exchange. Stamp dealing is going on limitless. Whenever there's no stop. I mean, we don't even have, let's say, something like stock exchange closes days. It's running all the time. So yeah, you will be ready to be something like a sophisticated person able to make your deal in that business if we spend some time and if we go through some rules. There is additional homework, like there is some stuff already on YouTube, as I said before. I would ask you to watch it. Most of it's good. So it really helps because it already gives you some sort of basic knowledge about not only the technical side, but about how the market works, about how to value stamps, how to get a feeling for what could be valuable, what sort of risky where not to go, because in the history of philately, there were a lot of scandals and people tried to...
For example, what could be a scandal in the stamp collection world?
A big auction house and a big stamp house, they sold copies of stamps, gold-plated.
Gold-plated stamp?
Yes, the copy of a stamp in a thin golden cover. And I mean, those days, the price for covering paper with a thin golden metal layer is something like 5 cents. The costs for doing that. But they sold this stamps for something like $150. So you see, I mean,
it's quite a rip-off.
If you look through auction markets, sometimes they appear still. I mean, they are sold for pennies. Just a second. It's, again, rising in price, but more as some sort of curiosity or so.
Could they be also a collector's item because of the scandal
information
attached?
Yes. You know, things can be seen another way after a while. So I would not say now invest in that kind of stuff, but if you see something like that for €2 or so keep it there.
So the collection market can change.
Yes.
And what is valued as good and rip-off, maybe?
Quality is the first big point you have to look at. If you want to start a stamp collection, get first, you should read everything regarding quality of stamps.
Everything? I don't tend to read everything.
So I will sum up for you all that what you need regarding. But basically, maybe it helps. Most people have one big investment in their life, and it is a car, let's say. So if you planning to invest in your first car, you will look for every detail in your car. Is the machine proper? Does it work? Did they clean it? Was it well made? Is there only the slightest tone in some sort
But
of...
you know I don't have a driving
Yes,
license.
yes, but you can imagine.
Don't
But
mind
there
telling
were,
me stuff.
there were other things you you look
First of
at
all, I would
prop-
look at the color and then take it from there.
So all these quality standards we know around everything, especially for stamps, where the world plays on something like 1 or 2 square inches of paper.
They are quite small stamps.
So you can imagine how important it is to look deeply inside that.
Yeah, you brought some examples here.
It's just that's more like decoration stuff, and I would say that in this case it's a collection of several
Those
values
are
of the
of the Gold Coast, which is Ghana today.
Yes, the Gold Coast. In our days, the Republic of Ghana was a former British colony, in those days called Gold Coast, because I think there were some gold mines. And
The name would suggest.
it's just decoration, and it was here, but it's maybe something to start to give to you because because you being a Scotsman, British, are somehow linked to the British Empire and that history because you yourself live in a union with England. Regarding
We are
your-
still in the union with England.
I know there's some sort of discussion about
One
that.
day we will no longer be in the union, but this will be
That's-
many years from now.
Yeah.
So
That's a different topic, though,
It's
yeah.
just by accident. It could be anything. It's just
Yeah.
to give you an impression because, especially in Britain, it's
Britain was practically all over the world, so
yeah,
Yeah,
a third of the world
yeah,
was
yeah, around
British
about that.
those days. Yeah.
This one here interests me. There's a stamp on the top that says war tax 1 penny. Looks like it's been stamped
Okay, that
afterwards.
was
Could you tell me
yes.
a little bit about this?
And that was in the beginning of the First World War, or it was in the First World War, where in all over the world, in the British colonies, they issued that kind of stamps to gain money to support their troops in First World War.
So this stamp is a little bit more than 100 years old.
That was, I think that either the issue, I would have to check the catalog, it's either 1914 or 17, so 100 years.
that's quite impressive that it still looks so good.
Paper, if paper is not in contact with humidity, it can stay for a long, long time.
Humidity is the dangerous factor
yes,
in
water
stamp
and
collecting.
humidity and stamps do not go together very well. But if you keep them dry, there's no problem. They stay for another 100 years.
Reinhard, thank you for this first insights to collecting stamps, and also thank you for being here, and I hope we sparked your interest.
Yes, indeed. I will slowly get back into stamp collecting. I'll be checking out your website for more information. About
Yes, which is
how to-
already in progress. There will be more information about that. But
Looking forward to this.
So yeah,
thank you.
anyway, thank you a lot for that. This was our first episode, and I hope we see you soon.